And so I would go in to a customer and say, look, I'm just getting my business started again, but it works the same thing. Could you tell 5 people about me? You know, here's the key to that. People like to be asked to help.
Yeah.
They like it. We're scared to do it.
What's the worst thing they're going to say? No?
No.
Oh, wow.
Hey, it's a great day here, and today we're so excited to have somebody that's actually worked with us. Her name is Beth Hansen, and she's just a hot mess, and she turns our hot mess into a good-looking mess. So we're going to get to her in just a second, and we're going to find out all about her in just a minute. But first of all, we're going to talk about our Bible verse today. And do you realize in the Bible that it mentions being afraid like 365 times? I wonder why so many. And I think one of the reasons, and we're going to talk about this as well, why a lot of people don't jump into business or being entrepreneurs or take the risk is because they're afraid. So when I first started out and I said we're at the 5 a.m. club where we read our Bible, we educate ourselves, and we do physical fitness work as well, that prepares us for the whole day. So that whole day is getting prepared to not be afraid, to surround yourself with the armor of God and go out and face the world. The world is a brutal world out there, so we have to figure out ways to combat that world. But here's a couple of verses that I want to go over today. The first one comes from Genesis 26:24. It says, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you. I will bless you, and I will increase the number of your descendants for the sake of my servant Abraham." That's one. Then I'm going to go to Deuteronomy, and it's 1:21. Let's go back to... It says, "See, the Lord your God has given you the land. Go up and take possessions of it, as the Lord, the God of your fathers, told you. Do not be afraid to be discouraged." Now, this is coming right after he sent the spies into the land. Remember, we talked about last week about there was 12 spies, and only 2 of them got to go into the promised land because they were not afraid. So do not be afraid. The last verse I'm going to go over is chapter 20, verse 3. Okay, it says, "He shall say, Hear, O Israel, today you are going into battle against your enemies." We're always going into battle against our enemies. The devil is always out there, guys. "Do not be faint-hearted or afraid. Do not be terrified or give way to the panic before them. For the Lord your God is one who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies to give you victory." So God is always with you, fighting these our enemies with us as well. So don't be afraid. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our guest today. We just pray, Lord, that somebody can use some of this information, even about you, Lord, to change their life and to not have to go through all the failures maybe that we went through as well, growing our business. Lord, we just ask that you bless this day. We thank you for your word that we can fight the enemies with and not be afraid. And Lord, we just love you so much. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're back again, and we just welcome you to Who Dare Go There, opening your own business. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is because my wife and I have opened up 40 businesses, and we have failed a lot. So hopefully we can just give you some of our failures that you won't make, but also we have entrepreneurs on that are maybe in different stages than what we are, and we want to find out what they're fighting up against and what failures they have and what wins they have as well. We don't like to be so negative, but we do want to be transparent and tell you this is not just, oh, I can do it, everybody can do it type thing. It takes a lot of guts sometimes, and it's just sometimes trying. So we're working through those failures that we have. And so today, again, we have Bethany Hansen. She came into our house and changed our lives. And so you think I'm kidding.
Thank you, Trent.
Well, that is the truth, because there's books out there. And tell us what you do. Let's just do it that way.
All right. So I'm a professional organizer. I basically go into people's homes and small businesses, and I help them tackle the clutter and the chaos that's kind of overwhelming and taking control of their lives, and transform their house so it's not a storage unit, it's a home. It's not. Sounds simple, but
Well,
There's a lot more to it.
tell these people what you did for us. I don't care. I mean, we're all transparent here.
So I met Dana, and she said, when I met her, I came into y'all's house, and she had a ton of different stuff she showed me that she needed help with. Her and Lakin had already started going through all of her clothes, but Dana needed help, like really, really organizing and dialing it in. So I've done Dana's closet, I've done y'all's kitchen, and y'all's pantry, and your laundry room as of now.
Yeah, I still can't find some things in the kitchen. Dana doesn't really ever look, but I look for some stuff every once in a while because she doesn't cook as much. Hey, that's okay.
I know you aren't missing any of those spices, though.
No. So here, let me just take this opportunity now to show some of the people. And I'm very transparent. I don't care. So we're going to show you some examples of what she did for us. Because if you took our pantry, for example, and Dana has 3,000,002 vitamins in there, we got rid of a lot of the extra ones that we don't use, but we also organized the ones, and it looks like a whole new place. Here they are. So now getting back to you came into our life or to our house and changed our lives. Why do you think it changes my life?
So one thing I've noticed is people have too much stuff in their homes, and especially like you and Dana, you guys have lived in your home for a while.
Quite a while.
And people, when they're in the same home for a long time, they don't tend to purge or get rid of stuff at a frequent basis as if you were like people that move a lot. We get rid of stuff all the time as you're moving. I used to be in the military, so I'm familiar with moving a lot. And every time you move, you purge, you get rid of stuff. You kind of evaluate your belongings. But when you're in the same house for so long, you kind of just get comfortable with that stuff and you don't really think about getting rid of it. But when you take that time and you sit down, you actually assess your items and ask yourself, when is the last time I used this spatula? Do I even need this avocado slicer, or will a knife do? When's the last time I cooked with these spices? Oh, 1982? Maybe I should get rid of them.
I think she's talking about us. Go ahead. That's all right.
Some of them are vintage, but they're very cool. But yeah, it's just, it kind of puts a spotlight on your stuff, and you kind of have to be honest and real with yourself and ask yourself, do I really need this item? Does this item even bring me any joy? Is there a purpose for it, or am I just hanging on to it because I spent money on it at whatever time in my life?
There's an old saying that says, get your house in order, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not even sure that doesn't come from the Bible as well.
Sure, it does.
The thing of it is like I told somebody today, I said, when we got our house in order and I can walk into our pantry and there's no clutter there, then it frees up my brain. Mm-hmm. There's no way that I think a lot, I write a lot, I do a lot of things in my kitchen, our kitchen, that I sit there and I just write for days of different ideas. And so now I go in there with a clear mind, and that helps so much, knowing that our kitchen's clean, our pantry's clean, not clean, it's always been clean, cluttered. And there's a book out there, I don't know if you gave that to Dana or who gave it to Dana, it's Declutter Your Brain, Declutter Your House, Declutter Your Brain.
Dana actually introduced me to that book. I hadn't read it or heard of it yet, but
well, that's just
probably a
something.
good read for me.
So how long have you been in business?
So I started in 2020.
Great time to start.
Perfect time to start. I was a teacher, and COVID had happened. Our spring break turned into summer break, so it went from a week off to the rest of the year off. And I am very fidgety. I have to be doing something at all times. And I was sitting down with my stepdaughter at the time. She was 15, and we were like, what do you want to do when you go to college? What do you want to do? And she was like, I don't know. So we were just throwing out ideas with her. And I was like, professional organizer. And I was like kind of joking because I didn't really think it was a real thing. I was just like, we're tidy. We like to color code our closets. We like to pick up people's homes. We love that. It brings us joy. And she was like, that's not a real thing. So I was like, I think it actually is. So let's look into it. And sure enough, I looked up and it was like professional organizer. It wasn't really that big yet. But I was like, do you want to do that? And she's like, yeah. I was like, let's do it this summer. Let's just see what happens. And so we literally that night, we took some pictures of like our laundry room, maybe like some part of our pantry, took pictures, made an Instagram Made a Facebook.
Well, that's...
And we just wung it, and we put the feeler out in our neighborhood, like, Facebook page, and we got someone to hire us. And we had no idea what we were doing. We're like, okay, sure. Yeah, we know what we're doing. We did not know what we were doing. And sure enough, the lady hired us. We went to her house. We absolutely did an amazing job in her kitchen and pantry, and we felt like we were, like, on top of the world. And so what started as, like, a little tiny baby idea, Erin, my stepdaughter, she got away from it, and she's actually going to school to be a pilot now. But I became completely obsessed with it. And
is this something you enjoy?
Oh my, what do you think, Trent?
Well, if you don't have fun at what you're doing, then it becomes work.
It's not work, no, yeah.
I mean, I love getting up every day and coming here to the building because I get to have fun.
Every day.
And I'm like, oh man, the weekend's coming.
Yeah,
I got to take off.
I know. No, I don't get the Sunday scaries anymore like I did when I was teaching. It's a totally different.
So when you went to your first customer, and how did you know how to price it?
I had no idea how to price. I think I lost money on that first day. I had no idea. I think I charged her $250.
Oh my!
To do her whole kitchen, her whole pantry. We were there for like 8 hours. That included all the product that we bought.
I wish we were your first customer.
Yeah. You do. Yeah, I had no idea. And so we did the pantry and kitchen. I'm almost certain we lost money. But I actually have a picture of me and Erin on our first day. We had a broom with us and like a little tote of some bins from the Dollar Tree. But we made it work, and it was insane, and the woman loved it.
And she actually thought y'all knew what you were doing.
Yeah. She made out like a bandit. She got a heck of a deal.
So did you, at that point in time, and this is just because it doesn't matter, did you have a business license?
No, it was a hobby at the point.
It was a hobby.
It was a hobby at that point. So I did it part-time, like very, very hobby, much as a hobby. Wasn't a business for the first year probably. I would do maybe 2 people a month.
Yeah.
Just after work, or on the weekends, I'd go help someone in my neighborhood organize their pantry or their garage or something. And really, at that point, it was just for fun. And it was an extra, like, maybe $300 a month. And I felt like I was on top of the world. Oh, this is
Absolutely.
awesome. I was like, that's like my groceries or something. So then kept doing it. Got a bunch of clients in Destin and in Crestview, Florida, where I lived.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I should make this legal. So I got a business license, got insured, really dove deep into my website and my networking. And 23, we got orders to move here. And I was devastated.
Oh, because all your clientele and all the people could refer you to other people were gone.
Yeah, all the word of mouth was like done, I thought. And I thought, where the heck is Clarksville, Tennessee? Who lives there? Like, I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, most people haven't.
No, I was like, it's by Nashville. I know a few other people that were stationed there. I literally cried for like months. I was so heartbroken. And I got here, and within like 2 or 3 months, I swapped my Google business over to Clarksville, which was the number one thing. If you don't have Google, you should. And one of my clients found me. She called me. I remember. I'll never forget her. And I still work for her every day. I actually just left her house today. She called me, and she wanted me to come do her whole house, kitchen, everything. And she was basically the person that got me started in Clarksville. It was all referral based and word of mouth. I did her house, and then she told all of her friends. She got a lot of friends. So it worked out well.
Where that is a big form of advertising. Mm-hmm. You have to grow Let's talk about advertising just for a second. You have to grow organically, and that's by word of mouth, and you have to do those things are a must. Mm-hmm. So do you do anything? Do you ask for, if I'm a carpet cleaner and I go into their house and I finished up, do I actually ask for them to refer me to other people? Do you do that?
It depends. So I will ask, if I remember to, I'll ask someone to leave me a Google review sometimes. I usually forget, but I should have more Google reviews than I do because I don't ever ask. But I will ask for a Google review. And then sometimes I'll mention like, oh yeah, don't hesitate to share me with your friends, or pass a card along to a friend.
Okay, we're going to challenge you here today, which I'm going to challenge every service business to do. At one point in time, I had a carpet cleaning company. And so I sold it, but then I had to take it back. But then I changed the name because I wanted people to know that I was back doing it, right? And so I would go in to a customer and say, look, I'm just getting my business started again, but it works the same thing. Could you tell 5 people about me? You know, here's the key to that. People like to be asked to help.
Yeah.
They like it. We're scared to do it.
Ask for help.
Because the first question I would say to them would be, did I do a good job? Are you happy with everything? Oh, yeah, I love it. Then why would they not want to help you? Yet they want to see you still continue to be in business so they can use you again, right? So the Bible says too, and I'm going to keep continuing back to the Bible because that's where I get most of my guidance. If you don't ask, you don't receive.
Right.
And that's the part about being scared.
You can't be shy.
You cannot be shy.
You can't be shy.
So you have to ask for those 5, put a specific number on it.
Yeah.
Why not?
What's the worst thing they're going to say? No?
No.
Oh, wow.
Or
no, they're
what's
probably
worse
not going to
thing
say no, though.
if they get one, if you get 1 out of the 5 people that refer you, then you've already won, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like multi-level marketing, right?
Yeah.
Because you ask somebody to get you 5, and then you're going to continue to ask them to get you 5. That is a great form of advertising.
Yeah.
People just don't use it because they're too scared, and they think, oh, it's not social media, it's just word of mouth. But that helps.
Just last week, I finished with a client, and over time, I naturally just become friends with my clients.
Absolutely.
It's just
You're in
my
the house.
business that I'm in. I'm literally folding like their underwear. Like there's nothing I don't see. So I become their friend by the end of it.
She hadn't done my closet.
I didn't fold Trent's underwear. Just Dana's. But so naturally we just get really comfortable and cool with each other. And this one client, we became friends on Facebook. So I messaged her and I said, hey, I just made a post about your house that I did. I did a bunch of stuff for her. And I asked her, I was like, would you mind sharing it to your personal Facebook page? And I'd be more than happy to give you an hour off your next session with me. She said, absolutely. She shared it, and then that next morning I had 5 inquiries for new people from her lead. So it paid off for an hour of my time.
An hour, but you could have gotten it for free.
Huh? I know. I could have probably gotten it for free.
Well, no matter who that is, if you ask us and you just did a great job, I want to make sure you're still in business.
Yeah.
As another entrepreneur, I want to make sure you continue to feed the economy just like we do.
True.
And so, heck yeah, I want to see you succeed. You know, the people that don't want to see you succeed, we don't need them.
I don't need your energy.
I don't need your energy anyway. So, you know, this. So now you got into business. You have a clientele. You get referral business.
Yep.
Tell me what other challenges you face as a young entrepreneur.
Let's see. What are some challenges I face? Well, so my biggest challenge when I quit teaching was a huge challenge for me. Because I was balancing my main job of teaching and the stress that comes with that. We all know a lot of teachers. They do not get paid enough.
Absolutely. I couldn't be a teacher.
At all. No, I couldn't either, Trent.
In today's society, I couldn't
either. But I knew that I wanted to jump into something I was extremely passionate about, and I needed like the kick in the butt to do it. So I had a lot of people just telling me like, hey, just do it. Like if you fail, it's okay. Like you're not going to fail, but you're never going to start it and do it full time if you don't just do it. And so that was a really big challenge for me, was leaving behind the security of a salary and knowing that I'm in charge of every penny I make was scary as heck. But it paid off. So that's a challenge. And honestly, I have a hard time separating like work and like not work life. So
I think that's every entrepreneur.
I want to come home at the end of the day because it's my baby. My business is my baby. And I don't mind working till 9 p.m. But I'll have my boyfriend and my mom will be like, it's 9 p.m. Why are you still replying to emails? Why are you ordering product right now? And that's a really big challenge for me. It's because I don't mind working. It's not work for me. It's fun. But I have to find that balance.
And we've talked about this in other podcasts, but too, because you are who you are and your boyfriend is that, we have to, and I have no clue, don't this is your life, don't care. But we have to surround ourselves with people that are supportive of us. Yeah, now 9 o'clock may be stretching it, but he's got to know that you're so passionate about this and that you are responsible for your... So when I started getting into all the businesses that we got into, Dana was always there to support me. She never really said no to any of my business ideas.
Yeah.
I'm the visionary, but she always makes me look like a magician. So, she picks up the pieces, or even in this podcast room, I said, let's just do this. I don't care. Let's get in no, it has to be this certain color. It has to do this. So it works out, but I surround myself with people.
Oh, don't get me wrong. He's definitely like my number one cheerleader, though. He'll hype me up and
absolutely.
get me going.
You have to have that.
Oh, yeah.
Because you don't need to hang around naysayers.
But sometimes I do need to be told, like, hey, you have been going at it for like days, like, you can let it go. You don't have to do this now. You can do this tomorrow. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Balance.
I can do this tomorrow. You're totally right.
It's a balance. It is. But so, in the last, I said, Josh, do you ever cut it off? He says, well, when you're family and you're family owned, it's hard not to talk about it because that's what we do.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
So you have to make time for the fun as well. So you've been in this business since 20. It's now 24.
Yep.
Are you pretty busy every day? What do your days look like?
So I give myself Mondays off. That's the one thing I've learned. And not off, and by off I mean I'm at home. I do all of my social media, my marketing. I'll write blogs on Mondays. Basically all the behind the scenes stuff. Tuesdays I have a laundry client. I work with her every Tuesday. I fold all her laundry, put it away. I do touch-ups in her house. And then Tuesday afternoon, I typically will have another client, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is booked with me and my assistant.
Now, you have an assistant. What does that assistant do?
So she does everything I do. We're the same. She is basically like another me when we're on site. She doesn't do any like the admin stuff for me. I have a hard time giving away any of that power. It's really hard for me. I'm a control freak and very, very, very particular.
So let me ask you a question. You're a control freak and your admin is a situation. So which is more important for you, the admin or the work? So let's just say now all of a sudden you've got 42 jobs next week. It's a lot.
Oh, man.
Yeah, no. Now what do? Do you give up the admin or do you give up the work? Meaning, do you get somebody else to do the work for you? Which direction are you going to go with that?
Oh, man. Well, honestly, my assistant is like a miniature me. She's great. Fantastic. Like, I've had to leave a project before and go like take care of something really quick and come back, and like Michaela will literally have it. She would do exactly what I've done. Like, she's amazing, incredible. So I would trust her. It's just hard to find other Michaelas in the world where I could hire more Michaelas.
Really?
But
I think that's
my goal.
every
Maybe
business.
I will. Maybe I'll hire more Michaelas one day. But for now, man, she's a little mini Bethany.
But for you to scale your business, I mean, so here's the good thing about being an entrepreneur, right? Is that we can either stay at the same pace we are, or we can give ourselves raises.
Yeah.
But in order to give ourselves raises, we have to sometimes get more work. So what direction are you going to go?
I need to relinquish some of the control. I don't know. Well, I want to grow, absolutely. My goal is to have teams and to where I'm not the one on the site.
Right.
Maybe I come for the consultation and I do all the admin stuff. That is my goal, like my 5-year goal. But I know that to do that, I definitely have to give up some of my...
It's not easy, is it?
It's hard, yeah.
And the other part is that we never really hired the people we needed to hire because we couldn't afford it at that time. And, sometimes the people that start out with you are not the ones that finish with you.
Right.
For different reasons. But by the time you have to hire the second time, you may have a little more money and you can, put more money into that position.
Yeah,
and maybe not saying you're going to get better people, but that's just part of it, right?
Yeah. One of my biggest challenges as far as like a financial investment right now or relinquishing control is and Sean, my boyfriend, has been harping me. He's like, you really need to pay for advertising. And I am so frugal, Trent. I'm like, oh, but like, who wants to pay $2,000 for advertisements and Google and all this stuff when I could just wing it and do it myself? But that's like the next level I need to do, but I can't.
You're buying yourself a job, right?
Yeah,
when you do that, how many clients could you be out working with for that 2,000?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So,
he's a good pay itself off.
You're a perfect candidate for this show because you're new and you're going through these growing pains. And what does that look like? Because we all go through them and the scarcity mode kind of kicks in about, ooh, that $2,000.
Will this investment pay off? When I know it will, but...
Again, if it gets you 5 clients through this one thing, if it just gets you 5, you ask those 5 to get you 5. It goes back to you asking the people that you're in front of for work.
Yeah.
How scared are you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you have to train your people to ask for 5 referrals.
Yeah.
So it's just like one of those things. So it's really cool to watch somebody grow and go through the growing pains. I wish it were easy. Everybody would do it, right?
No. If it was easy, everybody would do it. But also, one thing I can say is if I would have thought about it longer than that 20-minute conversation that I had 4 years ago in my kitchen, I never would have started it. I would have paralyzed myself by overthinking it and trying to perfect the website and trying to perfect my Instagram. Like, you just got to send it and
But that's you perfect people. Now when we do a business, now don't get me wrong, the City Forum took me a long time.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't your first business, though.
That wasn't my first business.
Yeah, it wasn't your first rodeo.
But every business I go into, I research it to death, and I always have, and if you don't have this mentality, you need it. I think I can do it better than everybody else.
Mm-hmm, you do.
You have to have that mentality, but you have to work at it like you are going to be the best.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's changing every day. You know, you ran into some obstacles at first, and you have to overcome those, and then you have to continue on.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this business, let me ask you this. So this is just strange questions that I'm like, okay, if it were me, how? So in the organizational business of a house, right? What other businesses could eventually branch off of that?
Oh, good question, Trent.
I know.
That's a great question. So,
and I don't know, this is just something for you to, I'm not putting you on the spot to just come up with an answer, but it's something for you to, how do you continue being the best at the best of organization, or is you're already in people's homes, what else is there? You're already there. What else can we do there?
Yeah. So there's a couple things that I ponder with as far as growth and more businesses. So with being a professional organizer, there's a huge industry as far as like moving and logistics.
Oh, yes.
I personally hate moving. I was in the military for 4 years, and I was married to a military member forever, and moving sucks, but nobody wants to do it. But as a professional organizer, there's a huge market for it. With me, I'll unpack people's homes, which is another daunting task, but I love doing that. But getting organizers to help you pack up your home and move, that's a huge market. And then also, I get a lot of people, y'all were included, building closets and pantries. So from an organizer's perspective, like that is something I would really love to do if I had the manpower and the know-how to do that. That would be another really nice dream of mine.
Let me ask you this. When you got into business, financially, did you have to go look? Yours is not a high inventory type situation where you can't just go get it. But financially, did you need to go to a bank to open up that?
No.
Because yours is such a low thing, so that's one risk you didn't have to have.
Yeah, no, it took no money to start it. 0, like not a penny. I made a free website. I had a free Instagram, a free Facebook, and then a little bit of elbow grease, and that was it.
So what you're saying
down
is,
the road, there's a lot more cost to it, though.
But starting out, to get started in something, unless you're buying a carpet cleaning van, at $40,000 back then in the day, so maybe it's $20,000. It was $20,000 back then I bought, and my payment was like $700 a month.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, but the carpet cleaning van stood for itself as collateral, right? So whatever that situation is, people can still get into different businesses with little or no money down, basically.
Totally. Absolutely.
It's just finding out what your niche is and what your dreams are and what you're good at, right?
Totally. Absolutely. Just find what your gift is.
So in closing today, what advice would you give to somebody starting out, because you just started out 4 months ago? What advice would you give to them, and even expansion thoughts?
So I would tell them, like, kind of the opposite of what you were saying. You researched everything. I would say don't overthink it too much.
Oh, I don't.
Don't overthink it too much. Like I was saying just a few minutes ago, if I would have overthought it, I never would have done it, or I would have just put everything on pause for way too long until a year passed, and then I'd be like, oh, well, maybe next month I'll do it. Don't overthink it. Just try it. The worst thing that can happen is you fail, and then you figure out what you did wrong, and you can try again. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, but if you're anything like me, you learn from your mistakes.
And you own up to them.
Yeah, the only way I learn is when I mess it up. Like, now I know I won't do that again.
Your first job, $200.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I'm definitely going to charge more next time.
Yeah.
And then just trust yourself and don't have imposter syndrome. Like, I know that's a big thing with me. I follow a ton of different accounts on Instagram, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have teams of 10, 20. Like, that's not me. I must suck at what I do. And I don't suck at what I do. I'm just at a different stage, and maybe I don't want to have a team. So don't feel like you're not good enough, or that you're not, you don't deserve to be there, because you do.
Well, that kind of goes back to the saying, I can do it better than they can, almost.
Yeah.
And when I overthink things a little bit, what I do is let me clarify that a little bit. And here's what I don't do. When I'm going through a business and I'm researching it, I do it pretty quickly, and I'll shoot 3 million holes in it, but I don't tell anybody else about those holes. And I told somebody, if you want to go to your friend and ask them to shoot holes in your thing, go ask them. But if you think you're going to get your feelings hurt, you are.
Yeah.
But, pride goes before the fall. So the reason I shoot holes in my own stuff is so that I'll be prepared when it goes wrong. I know what it's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm prepared for it. There's a
Please
difference.
critique me.
Yeah.
Please tell me what I'm doing poorly, so I can fix it.
But you can only ask certain people that, because some people just pick you apart and say you don't even need to be in business, right? And no, we don't need those friends on our side. Yeah. Tell me the truth. Be honest with me, but don't try to knock me down so bad. So
one other thing I would say too is to maybe find a mentor in your field. They don't have to be someone you even know personally. Like, I reached out to Instagram, again, with social media, other professional organizers in different states, and there have a couple that I talk to regularly. I text one from Texas weekly. Alex is her name, and I'll hit her up all the time, like, hey, what do you think about this business thing, or what should I charge this person for this, or someone in New York wants me to fly up there and organize for them. What would you do? And bounce ideas off. Like, don't be afraid to ask people that have been in business longer than you or know more than you. Don't be afraid to ask them, because people want to share.
Now, do you pay for that service, or is that just
It's just a friend.
It's
just like a social friend. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons we're doing this show, because it's not just me that has people asking to be their mentors, but people like you as well. Yeah. So this way we get to tackle a lot of those situations, and just like that. I mean, this is why we're doing this show.
Yeah, totally.
I love what I'm doing. So, if you don't love what you're doing, then you're in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Hopefully this encourages more people to just try it.
So, basically at the end of this show, Bethany has taken this opportunity that she thought was a good idea, but she followed it through. She's still growing, and I can't wait. This show is only going to be so many episodes, because it's not an ongoing thing, but I can't wait to see what you do and how this turns out in the future as well.
Me too.
One of the things I told people too is the mentor part. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that I wished I was too scared again to ask for help. And so I didn't ask a mentor to help me. I said, if they can do it, I know I can do it better. But I learned a lot that way, don't get me wrong. Totally. So you can go both ways, but the easier way is to ask for a mentor, just telling you straight up.
Yeah.
So, guys, we appreciate your time today, and thank you so much. And we'd like to thank Bethany again as well.
Thanks,
so we'll be showing you more about her company as well coming up, and how to get in touch with her as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.